This was too darn good to not talk about it live on the air and get some feedback from you guys, gamers slash fans. What's up, everybody? As you guys join in, please hit that like button, share it out. I would really appreciate it. Let's get as many likes as going as we can. I don't have a super long time here, and I was gonna make a video about this, just a little short video, but I was like, you know what? I got a little bit of time. I might as well go ahead and do a long version video and kind of get my entire thoughts out there. First of all, there's two parts to the title of this. Now, I realized that social media is a small fraction of the people, the populace that makes up video game and game ownership. I have slightly over 10,000 followers on Twitter, so not terrible. I follow a lot of people, gamers and stuff like that. What I've been seeing recently is a lot of people who were Xbox fans switching over to PlayStation 4. And they're actually making announcements of this. And some people would go, well, why are you announcing that you're switching to PlayStation 4? Why wouldn't you just go ahead and switch and enjoy the games that you want? The problem that I have as somebody who was an Xbox fan for like forever, and I still like Xbox. I just feel like they completely let us all down this generation, and will continue to do so because they were bullied out of the console space. Realistically, what I feel is that if you're an Xbox fan, if you were an Xbox fan this generation, you feel totally pissed on, right? That's why you announce it, because you feel let down, and that's exactly how I feel, and that's exactly how a lot of these other Xbox fans feel, is that we've been let down by Microsoft completely and utterly. And so there's a little bit of bitterness there when we talk about, oh, okay, well, you switched to, PlayStation or whatever. So I don't think necessarily that everybody feels the exact same way that I do. But the main reason that mostly that I've been using PlayStation is because, more and more people are becoming aware of great exclusives, right? And the funny thing is, that's exactly what we want as gamers. That's what we should strive for. And when you have people that say, hey, we don't need exclusives, I kind of disagree with that. I think that that's very much a wrong look to have on things. What's up, Matty Beast? I appreciate you being here. What's up, TLR9? Appreciate you being here as well. Crap, there's a new Top Gun coming out. Is there? I didn't know that they were going to make another Top Gun. And I think that I thought maybe that ship had sailed a while ago. So, yeah, very interesting to hear that. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this, because this was really why I thought that this was sort of an interesting situation for Microsoft and the fans. And look, there's going to be people that damage control this. I'm just thankful that I'm not one of them. Right. So, and I linked this, Dual Shockers. This is the article. Marvel Spider-Man tops Batman Arkham City as best-selling superhero game ever, according to the MPD. Spider-Man stands as the best-selling superhero game of all time. So think about this. While you have Phil Spencer and a lot of Xbox fans saying more games on more platforms means more sales, right? But Arkham City was on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and PC. 5 platforms over multiple generations, multiple iterations, and guess what? It was outsold by a game that was only on one. Like, that to me is realistically says it all. People that say exclusives don't matter, you've kind of just been embarrassed. Like, Microsoft just got embarrassed. You don't have to put your games on everything to drive engagement. You don't have to put your games on everything to get people to buy your platform. It doesn't have to be like that. Like, that's the thing that I've been talking about. Exclusives definitely matter. And to the people that don't think they mattered, you were just giving basically a life lesson there. Exclusives definitely matter. If you have some kind of exclusive content, then you can have people actually go out and, buy your games. If you sell a lot of consoles, you're going to sell more content. That's exactly how things work. How Phil Spencer doesn't see this, XBLL, $1. Thank you. Appreciate it. How Phil Spencer can't see this, I don't understand. Hold on. Ben W., I'm gonna let you say that. He says, you talk smack, mate. What am I talking smack about? Crap, will you give Judgment a try? I have it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I bought it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a try for sure, and then I'll give you guys some opinions on it and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, this just in: gaming revenue is down from previous years. Let's see. Yeah, this is not good. So yeah, gaming revenue down. Revenue of 2.53 billion, down from previous years. Xbox revenue down for hardware. All digital dish didn't help at all. Software revenue down 3% year on year. Blames third party title for lower rev, aka Fortnite. But Xbox Live users did grow, which again, that doesn't necessarily mean people are buying anything. That just means that they're playing on, a platform or whatever. It could be free to play, what have you. But yeah, so there goes all that a little bit. As far as I'm concerned, this stuff with Spider-Man realistically shows what Microsoft has completely kind of failed at doing this generation, and that is generating buzz and getting people excited for your console, for your platform, and giving people a reason to want to buy it and play it. So when I did a podcast yesterday, we had Xbot and some good fans on there and stuff like that, and I got to say, I like Xbot, man. I like people that like Xbot. We had Dirt on there, but the fact of the matter is, what we're seeing now is just a complete utter deterioration of the Xbox brand that we knew and loved, and we're seeing it kind of replaced by a company that's just after money and these phantom 2.5 billion gamers that they allegedly think they can reach, which, by the way, their attempt to reach them basically means screwing all the Xbox fans out of their console and their games and anything that made them feel special about that console to begin with, which I think is always a bad idea. You got to give your gamers a little something to feel good about. So one of the things that I sort of looked at today, which was Nintendo, because everybody keeps telling me, right? And when I say everybody, I mean Xbox fans keep telling me Sony and Nintendo are both going to be going after this streaming thing too. They want out of the console business too. Like the Xbox fans say this to me all the time. And it's one of the situations where I go, well, are they really saying the same thing that Xbox is? Are they saying the same thing that Xbox is? Because I don't think they are. Xbox is like putting everything in this basket of, hoping that people adopt this streaming thing. And I don't think people in America particularly are. But not even just that, but what we're seeing is the fact that Microsoft is betting on that and that alone, and that's a shame. So Mr. Bowser, the head of Nintendo, was talking about video game streaming, and it's a device where you can play anything, anywhere, with anyone. He says, obviously, something we're closely watching and looking at and understanding in regards to streaming on the Switch, right? But he also says, I don't think all games will move to the cloud, but the technology is advancing in the future. I expect that technology such as the cloud and streaming will evolve further as a way to deliver games to customers. We must keep up with such changes in the environment. On the other hand, I believe that our core value, the unique entertainment experiences that can only be achieved through the developer of integrated hardware and software, will further increase in value, delivering unique entertainment that only Nintendo can create and will continue to be our top priority. So do you see how Nintendo is saying, we're keeping an eye on this cloud gaming thing, but we believe that our own hardware, our own software is so unique, it's going to continue to grow in value, and we want to continue to have that as our top priority. When has Microsoft, and ask yourself this, no matter who you listen to as a person on YouTube or a site, who have you listened to that will ever admit that Xbox consoles are the top priority for Microsoft right now? Because I can tell you right now, the top priority for Microsoft is not a console. It's definitely not. I'm sorry. It's not happening. They don't care about the console. Play harmonica Spider-Man PS4 theme. Oh, Seth Borg, you bring up a good thing. He says, I think his BS has become too personal. You hate Phil Spencer for calling you out, bro. It's time to heal. You mean from 2016, dude? It's 2019. And me and him had plenty of interesting, and I've done plenty of positive videos about Phil Spencer. The problem is is that Phil Spencer believes that if you put your games everywhere, it's better for everybody, and that's not the truth. I don't know one single Xbox gamer who was dying to play their Xbox games on a smart fridge or on an Apple Watch while they're taking a dump. Nobody in their right mind was asking Microsoft for this. Microsoft was just trying to flip the script because they were getting so badly beating, right? They were getting badly beat by everything else. You know, they're about to get beat by Nintendo Switch if they haven't already, right? So if you're an Xbox fan, what exactly is there to be positive about at this particular juncture? I'm just asking because I feel like as an Xbox, well, as somebody who was such an Xbox fan for so many years, I'm trying to find a hard time finding any kind of realistic reason to be optimistic about it. You know, yes, they picked up some studios that were on their last leg or whatever. They've also managed to pick up a couple of halfway decent studios, and those halfway decent studios are stuck making multi-platform titles for the PlayStation 4 as well. So Microsoft will make money off those games. The problem is there's nothing exclusive there for Xbox fans to feel like, holy crap, we really got something here, right? Like there's nothing that's making my friends in real life, which by the way, I officially now know nobody in real life who owns an Xbox One. The last person I knew who had an Xbox One officially traded it in for a PS4 and a bunch of PS4 games. So hey, if you guys are coming in, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. Share it out. Hold on. 9 Live says, crap, Xbox is only growing stronger. 9 Lives, please explain, man. I would love to know how Xbox is only growing stronger. Their revenue was down. This news about Spider-Man has completely killed the narrative that exclusives don't matter, right? Like there's actual Xbox fans in this world right now who will tell you exclusive games don't matter, right? This just killed that narrative completely. So please explain to me what's going to go on. Hold on. Francisco Barrios says, hey, crap, you still believe that Spider-Man will come to Xbox like you claimed a while back? I thought that there was a chance that it would come to Xbox, but I don't think anymore. And I think this might speed up the process of Sony buying Insomniac Games. I think Insomniac Games is going to get bought out by Sony. You know what I mean? So for me personally, I think that that's a smart move on Sony's part, just because you have that company under locks. And just think what's going to happen. Spider-Man 2, PS5 exclusive. What's going to happen when they release that? I think that's going to be absolutely incredible. Y9 Power, what's up? Hold on. 9 Lives 210 says Xbox studios are growing. Why Sony's is downsizing? Why Sony's isn't downsizing, dude? I did a video last night. There's a ton. Days Gone studio, Bend. They're making another game, probably Days Gone 2. Sony San Diego, the new secret studio they have, they're making a new Uncharted. Guerrilla Games has 2 teams, one making Horizon Zero Dawn 2, one making a new first-person shooter. They also have, obviously, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding. They also have a ton of other stuff. They have the baseball game that comes out every single year. They release big AAA games. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a SOCOM or maybe a Siphon Filter make a way back as well. Sony really thrives on that kind of stuff. So, Sony's going to be at the Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom. They're just trying to get their names out there. Who knows what they'll actually go out and announce. But it's good to stay in the mix, and I feel like that's what Sony's doing. Hey, we got over 300 watching. Please like this video. I would very much appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me when you guys come out here. I know that some people get upset about this stuff when I talk about it, but hey, the truth is the truth. At the end of the day, I feel like Microsoft has a lot to learn when it comes to this console stuff. Ignoring the mainstream, the hardcore, the way that things have been done since the beginning of gaming is not a smart thing. It's definitely not a smart thing. You have to have faith, and you have to have faith in your developers for one thing, and you have to be able to. Am I staying? Yeah, man, I am very, very happy. Tomorrow, I'm going to the Rolling Stones concert, guys. I'm thrilled. This is the first time I've ever seen them. Me and my lady are going to go, are checking them out, and it's going to be a fun time, man. I'm very excited. And right now, just excited to sort of talk about this because, hold on. Seth says, Crapgamer, your transformation seems to be complete. You've become a full-on Sony apologist now. even glossing over the lack of multiplayer. I'm not glossing over the lack of anything. I've said that Sony will probably make more multiplayer games. They've got the Predator game coming out. The Last of Us 2 will have a multiplayer aspect to it. The bottom line, if you want the truth of the matter, so many games from third parties are great multiplayer games. You have Call of Duty, you have Battlefield, you have The Division, you have Destiny, you have The Division 2, you have Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six. You have all these huge multiplayer games, and they're doing what Microsoft does, but they're doing it better, right? And so the day and age of Microsoft having the best multiplayer games, where they would talk about having 1 million people concurrently on Halo 3, those days are long over with, you guys. The 360 is long over with. That Microsoft is dead. Matrick is gone. We've got Phil Kumbaya Spencer in there talking up putting games on everything and everywhere because that's what everybody asked for. Yet, despite the fact when I ask around and look around, I don't see anybody asking for that. So, yeah, there's no apologizing for that. Sony, if they want to do more multiplayer, they can. But I personally am into the Sony for doing these great epic single player stuff for the most part, because that seems to be dying out from the third parties. Sony is doing that better than the third parties. The way that Microsoft used to do multiplayer better than third parties, Sony is doing that with single player. And that's why Sony is so appealing to so many people right now. So many people. So many people. You know what I mean? That's exactly how that happens. Y9 Power says, I defended Xbox loyally, but me and Crapgamer are just pissed about the lack of leadership and tradition. This is exactly right. This is kind of how I have my look onto it. I just feel like Microsoft has really dropped the ball. Like, this is what Microsoft could have done, right? Maybe Phil Spencer could right the ship if they were to do something like this. This is just my opinion. But one of the things that Don Matrick did when he took over, and I'm not a Donnie D guy at all, but he pulled Gears and Halo off PC. And why do you do that? Because those are console selling games, my friends. You sell your consoles. Because if you sell your consoles, you can sell more live subscriptions, and you can sell more Game Pass subscriptions, and you can sell more software, and it just makes a lot of sense to do that, right? But Phil Spencer doesn't think that way, right? But so what Microsoft should do, and this is how I would treat Xbox, I would not talk about that cloud streaming stuff very much at all. It'd be back burner stuff, right? Little interviews here or there. I wouldn't talk about it at E3. It wouldn't be a big deal because you treat it like a big deal, like Play Anywhere. Remember how they hyped up Play Anywhere? Who played Play Anywhere? Nobody does, right? No, none of the big third parties adopted it. Nobody plays Play Anywhere. It's like this big joke. Like, nobody cares. And I feel like Microsoft is treating xCloud like that. Like, how in the heck is a streaming service supposed to make people want to buy more into Xbox? It makes no sense. That strategy is like the underpants gnome strategy. You know, steal underpants, question mark, make profit, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they're not going to get people that have never played games before to start spending buku bucks from streaming games, right? It doesn't work that way. So the fact of the matter is Microsoft's got this weird idea on how they can make this money, and it's not going to work out well for them. And not only is it not going to work out well for them, but it doesn't work out well for the hardcore fans like us, because we're stuck there with no exclusives for multiple years, and it looks like we're not getting anything for the foreseeable future. What's up, Hot Man? Crap didn't leave Xbox. Xbox left him. This is exactly right. So I've been saying this more and more, and hopefully people are picking up on it. When people accuse me of flip-flopping, right? It's easy for me to combat that now because I didn't have the words before, but thankfully Mooch, with his great Moochisms, told me, he's like, you know what? He's like, we didn't change. Microsoft changed, right? Microsoft were the ones that changed. Microsoft were the ones that went. Remember, early on, Phil Spencer was like, I want Xbox owners to feel like first-class citizens. That's why we have a parity clause. I want Xbox owners we want to give them games. Remember the first few E3s was quote-unquote games. That has slowly they rescinded that. And remember all the things that Phil Spencer has said. So don't act like Phil Spencer hasn't lied to us time and time again. He promised us to make up for losing Street Fighter V as an exclusive to PlayStation 4. He never came through with that. He promised us VR. I don't care if you're a VR fan or not. He promised us VR on on Xbox One X. We didn't get it. He promised us a lot of things. He promised us the best E3 with more exclusives every single E3 and fails to deliver. In 2017, he says we just signed new deals for new exclusives, but we're not going to show them because they're not going to be ready for 2 or 3 years. Well, the 2-year mark was up, so why didn't we show them? You know, this is the thing that kind of is the bad part of being an Xbox fan. We're not getting what we were promised, and that's a bit of a problem. Hold on. Andrew Thompson says Microsoft changed for the better. Andrew, tell me exactly what has been better for you as an Xbox gamer since they've changed. I would love to know exactly what has gotten better for you as an Xbox fan. Please share that with me. I would just absolutely love to know what's gotten better. Exactly. James Freeman says, "How are we first class when Xbox is on everything?" That's I would love to know that. Let's see. Hey, Reclaimer, man, I'm not worried about being liked by people, man. I'm gonna go out there and just tell the truth and just be honest about the things, man. I'm not worried about growing my channel or any of that kind of stuff, man. If like people at some point will stop saying, "Oh, he's only doing it for clicks or this," when it's clear that's not the case, right? Maybe, just maybe, Reclaimer, somebody's pissed off that Microsoft is screwing up. At what point does Microsoft start getting the blame, right? At what point does Microsoft start getting the blame for making people jump ship? I'm not the only person that's jumped ship. At what point do you, as an Xbox fan, at what point do you, as an Xbox fan, have to say, hey, Microsoft actually did screw up here? That's bad on them, right? So the first thing that most Xbox guys will do is damage control this Spider-Man news, right? And how you damage control it, I don't know. You know what a real true gaming fan would say? Wow, that's impressive. Congratulations, Sony. Maybe Microsoft should rethink some of their strategies a little bit. Exclusives do matter. Instead, you've got Phil Spencer, who has you guys wrapped up into believing that exclusives don't matter at all. Muttley and company says, do you not think that your game chase changed more to third-person action adventure instead of first-person shooter, which is Microsoft's bread and butter? I still enjoy. I still play Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I still enjoy a lot of stuff, you know? So I don't think that I think that my time that I'm able to actually play has changed. Hey, can you guys get me to 100 likes? I would appreciate it very much. So I feel like my time has definitely changed. Like that's dwindled a bit as time goes on, you know, like with family and stuff like that. But I also feel like, you know, I still enjoy like the shooters. I still enjoy like the Halos. I still enjoy the Gears. I'm going to play the tech test this weekend, and hopefully it's going to be great. I'm hoping for the best with that game. You know, I just feel like with Microsoft, the only thing they care about is games as a service and how can they make revenue off this. Microsoft, and I hate to say this because, you know, it's a comparison that's very apt in my opinion. Microsoft is the EA of console makers, right? You know how EA is just they canceled that one Star Wars game because they couldn't monetize it enough, and every game has to be this, and every game has to have multiplayer and loot boxes or surprise mechanics, as they like to call them. Microsoft is the same way. You know, Microsoft wants to monetize everything that they can. Microsoft wants their games on everything that they can be on, including, don't kid yourself, they would have them on PlayStation 4 if Sony would allow it, right? And the Switch as well. I mean, they're one of the Switch's biggest publishers, so you have to kind of take that into account as well. At the end of the day, you know, Microsoft wants their stuff on everything, and eventually, I feel like it probably will be. So, listen, it's not even switching, right? Because like I don't know this MBE guy very well, but it sounds to me like he's just playing PlayStation 4 and just enjoying it. And I said this the other day because I saw a lot of people take advantage of that PlayStation 4, you know, that PlayStation 4 deals that was going on, right? On Twitter, and they're just playing God of War or Spider-Man for the first time. If you haven't played a PlayStation 4 exclusive this generation and you've only been stuck with stuff like Crackdown 3 and State of Decay 2 and Recore, you're in for a treat. It's like a totally different experience. It's absolutely a different experience. It is completely amazing, right? Like you get games where developers actually look like they care about what they're making. Imagine that, right? Imagine developers actually having enough care and pride to make a quality game. Like I don't get that when I go and play something on on Xbox One for the most part, right? Like Forza Horizon series is really great, but other than that, even Halo took a step back. Gears 4 took a little bit of a step back. Gears 5 maybe will be good. I liked Ori. I'm not going to lie about that. I thought that was solid, but I couldn't even beat that game. Very difficult. So, but I think there is a place for that alongside big AAA games. But you got Xbox dudes still talking about Rise, Son of Rome. Man, that was 2013, or Sunset Overdrive. That was 2014. 5 and 6 years ago, respectively. How the heck can we still be talking about this stuff without realizing just how bad it sounds and how sad it makes it that this generation, we're still talking about games that were 5 or 6 years old because we're not getting anything new, right? That's the part that I kind of drive home when I'm talking to fans and I'm talking to people, and hopefully you guys can sort of understand that. And I know people are going to be unhappy that, I'm speaking my mind a little bit now about stuff, but yeah, that's basically sort of how I feel about it. Reclaimer, of course I couldn't beat it because I'm a casual. Yeah, I mean, if I'm a casual, then I'm a casual, man. I don't care. I'm just a gamer, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let me get back to the point where how I would fix Xbox, okay? First of all, I would put Xbox on the front burner again. I'd make Xbox cool. I'd start advertising it in movies, TV shows. You'd have to get people to kind of get involved with it. The Xbox 360 did this. The original Xbox did this. Skating shows, concerts. You had Xbox banners everywhere. They did great advertising for Xbox on TV. They haven't done that this generation, but that's what I would do. I'd advertise it everywhere. I'd make Xbox synonymous with fun gaming experience, console gaming experience again, right? I would pull Halo, Gears, and Forza off of the PC. I would pull Play Anywhere. I would invest in making the next big thing, and I would have a couple different studios making the next big thing so that you could space out your tentpole platforms like Forza, Gears, and Halo. I would not put those on PC. PC would get their own kind of treatment. It's Microsoft after all. They could get all the Age of Empires that they want and all the spin-off stuff, maybe give them a few of the old things like Halo 3 or something, I would take a back seat on this streaming stuff. I just have it kind of in the background as an option. You want to do it, fine. If you don't, fine. I wouldn't be pushing it on people at all. And I would just treat people like they mattered. If you wanted to go mobile, I would have different teams or hire different teams to make mobile specific games. Because I'm telling you right now, the person that's playing the mobile Candy Crush right now, they're not going to want to play mobile Witcher 3 or mobile Halo Infinite. It's not going to work that way. That person, that doesn't exist. They're not going to pay a subscription. They're playing their Candy Crush for free. They're not going to pay a subscription or buy a game outright to stream it on their phone. That person that's playing PUBG for free, they're downloading that to play it, or Fortnite for free, they're downloading it to play it. So, that's the difference right there. So Microsoft is very much mistaken, and I don't see how Phil doesn't understand that, to be honest with you. It always kind of blows my mind how Phil comes across as like this educated guy, but he doesn't know enough to realize that people aren't falling for his nonsense. That's the problem. Hold on. Stuffs to consider. You nailed it with the EA analogy for Microsoft. Yeah, they are EA. They are EA for gaming consoles. Kind of bad for the business. The noob of games. Hold on. I think I like this comment a lot. He says exclusives is what separate the box you play on. It gives a reason to buy a brand to invest in the company's job. It's the company's job to show you why they are the best so the consumer can get the best product in the market. This is such a brilliant thing to say, actually. I really appreciate that comment. That is a fantastic comment. Thank you very much. Let's get over 150 likes. I would appreciate it. Ryan Landis says Gears would have had the red carpet media blitz for a new game 10 years ago. Now they're barely a mention from Microsoft. Again, this is what I say. And then a lot of the Xbox fanboys say that I'm worried about, commercials instead of the game itself. Why are they hiding the campaign? They say it's the biggest campaign they've ever made. Well, what does that mean? Is it biggest how? Largest world? The longest campaign in terms of hours? What does that mean? Why are you hiding the campaign? I don't understand it. They've never hid the campaign before. Yeah, exactly. The 360 gen had commercials. Think about all the commercials that the Gears franchise has had, right? Like the War Pigs commercial, Ashes to Ashes. So many, you can look them up. right? And then if you look up what the current Gears game is doing, it's not really uh, doing anything fantastic. They're not doing anything. There's nobody watching this thing. You know what I mean? So I think that it's weird that they're sort of doing that sort of a backwards way. Like, why wouldn't you advertise your biggest game like six weeks away from launch, right? 6 weeks away from launch, how many Spider-Man and God of War commercials were we getting? I mean, we were getting commercials shoved down our throats. You know, go to a Subway, you see a Spider-Man sub, you know? Um, and I mean like an actual Subway, not a restaurant Subway, but you know, in the Subways, they had like a Spider-Man themed sub, you know? It's like Microsoft, they haven't advertised for crap this entire generation. And I understand that they got their asses handed to them at the beginning of the generation, but at some point you have to get over that and try to move on, right? You have to try to move on and get people excited about your platform again, because pretending like your console doesn't exist doesn't do anything for anyone, you know? And I just feel like um it's not a really good thing. So again, Microsoft's quarter 4 19 results are a mixed bag. Hardware revenue declined a huge 48%. That's not good. Software down 3% due to weaker third-party releases. And of course, since you have hardly any first-party releases, nothing is going to go on. Overall gaming revenue down 10%. Subscription numbers are rising. Game Pass continues to grow. Monthly active users up, though, to 65 million. But again, monthly active users doesn't necessarily mean they're spending any money, hence the decline in the software sales and stuff like that. So just kind of a bit of mixed stuff, not exactly what you would expect. I think maybe talking about Scarlet so far in advance didn't really help their cause at all. You know, hopefully they can get out of this funk, because like I said, it's not a joke. The Xbox sales are like at an all-time low right now, you know, and it's just funny to me that now we have conclusive evidence that exclusives, one, matter, and two, people will buy a console specifically for a game, and three, putting a game on everything doesn't necessarily mean success. You know, it's not equivalent of being 100% idea for successful, right? So while I have Xbox fans damage controlling, saying putting games everywhere makes it sell more, Sony's out there putting their game on a PS4 and it sells 20 million consoles and, you know, 20 million copies of the game. Like, to me, that's fantastic. You know, that's those Sony games. One thing that I noticed, because a lot of people also come at me and said, you know, crap, Sony eventually is going to have to put their games in some kind of Game Pass situation. And I always say, why would they do that? Why would they need a Game Pass situation? Their games are selling huge numbers, right? They're not these little 60 meta games that are half finished AA style, right? So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's strange to me that people defend this so much. Y9 Power says, again, crap, look at the Twitter zombies praising Phil with killing console exclusives. Geez, yeah. Listen, I've muted a lot of those guys. I don't see any of that stuff. No offense to them. I just want to be left alone from them, and I'm leaving them alone. That's fine. I don't have no problem with anybody. I'm just using that as kind of as an example of why Xbox is failing to the people like me. You know what I mean? I just think that, you know, obviously Xbox is like the Xbox One in particular is just dying this terrible, terrible, this terrible slow death. Like they're selling nothing. And the Xbox One X is the most powerful console. And I raised this question to both Xbot and Dirt, who are both big Xbox fans. Still, I said, if the most powerful console, the cheaper console, because they have both of those things, right? The X is, while not the cheapest console, but is the most powerful. They also have the cheapest with the S, right? They also have Play Anywhere, Game Pass with exclusives going in day and date, backward compatibility, you know, game gifting. They have all these features and services and the best console and the cheapest console. If all that stuff does not push console sales, how the heck are they going to do anything next generation? Like, none of that stuff is going to matter. Like, how is game streaming through xCloud going to give them any kind of boost whatsoever? You really need compelling software to go out there and do anything. You know, this, to me, the Xbox One is the Wii U of Xbox consoles, unfortunately. And I hate to say that because I actually kind of like the Wii U, but the Xbox One had a real chance. I originally thought when the Xbox One came out that Microsoft would have to do what Sony did last generation, right? I figured that Microsoft would have to go out there and put out a ton of games. And you know, and the fact of the matter is that could have helped save them. You know what? The PS3, for as bad as that started out, hey, what's up, Rich of Cucumber? Appreciate you coming out. Steve says crap for next president of Sony. Hell yeah, man. You're gonna put the focus on AAA blockbusters. You're going to you're gonna do some incredible things, you know. But I do have to say that for me personally, it was sort of a wake-up call to see that exclusives definitely do matter. Anybody saying otherwise, I don't know. It's kind of, that's a crazy thought to me, right? Like, how are you going to sell your thing to somebody if you don't have anything incredible to sell it to? It's like nobody I know. Like, I don't care if you're excited for Bleeding Edge or Cuphead 2 or Ori 2. That's fine, but nobody's going out of their way to buy an Xbox or use an Xbox service to get that. Now, if Sony were like, we're going to put The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man on a service, people would flip their shit. They would actually go out there and want to buy that service because those are great games that push sales of other things. Microsoft doesn't have the games to push sales. And I'm telling you right now, Psychonauts 2, Outer Worlds, even as multiplats, those aren't going to push anything. I'm sorry, Wasteland 3, Bard's Tale 4, are these games going to push anything? Are they going to push your services? No. You need huge games to push your services as well as your hardware. And Microsoft just doesn't understand that. They don't understand that. And the fans, like me, we understand it because we're sitting there thinking, we've waited how many years already? 4 years since the last AAA IP was announced, and we might have to wait another 3 or 4 years before we get one. Like, are you seriously telling me we have to wait 7 or 8 years between new AAA games to release? That's a little bit ridiculous to me. And it really just goes to show that they aren't paying very close attention to what gamers want. And that's, I feel like, is a real shame. I just feel like that's a real shame. So, I really think that Microsoft kind of dropped the ball. And this is a staunch wake-up call because you're going to see a lot of people cover this news and a lot of different things, right? This is Xbox revenue numbers are really, really bad. The SAD edition in particular, they really had high hope for that thing and it just didn't do well. Software sales, clearly, if you're just depending on third party and third party starts to stumble a bit, that's really bad. Hardware revenue. How does your hardware revenue decline almost 50% year on year? Like, nobody's buying an Xbox One. Nobody's gonna nobody's buying Xbox Ones, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't understand it, except for the fact of what, guys? Why, you guys in the chat, tell me real quick, why is nobody buying an Xbox One right now? Why? I just want to see some of the answers in the chat. Why is nobody buying an Xbox One? I want to read some of these. Hold on. One typical Latino says, heard people saying SAD was selling well. No, SAD sold extremely poorly, and they sold okay for the sales that they did on Prime Day. But the number one, but ahead of it was both the Switch and the PS4 and PS4 Pro bundles. Let's see, because of stupid mediocre exclusives. Good point. Oh, media bias, Samuel. Frat Boy says no exclusives. No games to draw the consumer, no software, Xbox SAT edition. Xbox is niche, that's why. No exclusives, no good quality exclusives, no games, no reason to buy. Because new console is coming, because it has no games, because I'm an adult who likes to play quality games. Y9 Power says SAT edition shows how out of touch Microsoft is. There's no games to compare to Sony's, no exclusives, no games, giving away exclusives to other platforms. No reason to buy it, says Luca. Exactly. So if you guys look at it, there's no reason to buy an Xbox One. So for all the hyping up that everybody's doing of Xbox One and the future of Xbox, there's no reason to buy one. That's never been more true than right now. Why on earth would anybody buy an Xbox One when they have nothing compelling? They refuse to buy third-party exclusives. They haven't made their own first-party exclusive that was amazing since, oh, man, I'm trying to think. I can't even remember a time where they had a first party exclusive that was really, really good. I mean, besides racing games, I can't think of one. Maybe you guys will think of something, but there has absolutely been never less of a reason to own an Xbox One or to, yes, they're making some moves with their studios, but I also have been saying this for a while. What good are these studios if you're not really dictating what they make or if they're not going to make AAA bangers? Nobody wants to buy an Xbox for Bard's Tale 5 or Wasteland 5. You know what I mean? And if Obsidian is stuck making Outer Worlds 1 and 2 that are going to be on PS4 as well, how does that benefit Xbox gamers at all? Like, this stuff isn't benefiting us. I think Game Pass is cool, but if you're not getting anything exclusively in there, then what does it matter? You know, I don't understand it. I just do not understand. I do not understand. I'm flabbergasted as a fan or somebody who was a fan and who backed Microsoft for so many years. I just feel kind of slapped in the mouth. You know, they just absolutely do not care if we buy their console. They don't care about announcing stuff. They surely don't care about making people excited about their future, because they refuse to talk about the future. All they talk about is streaming and PC. You know, we were promised by Phil, again, I could go over all the lies that Phil Spencer, and I know nobody's perfect. We promised us VR, promised to make up for Street Fighter V being exclusive, promised to show us exclusives in 2017. He says they're 2 to 3 years out. We'll show them in a couple years. He's refused to show them. You know, just plenty of these types of things that Phil Spencer has kind of misled us about. And he showed us a third piece of hardware since 2016, and we've had 0 new IP announcements since 2016. I think it's about time that Philly boy steps up to the plate and starts showing some games to get people excited, because nobody's excited about the Scarlet. It does me no good. There's a little bit of news here and there about Scarlet, and maybe one day I'll cover a bit of it. But how the hell are you going to get excited about that when there's no games, nothing new to talk about for it, right? They're going to launch it with another Halo. Great. You know, that's great. Okay, cool. Halo, you know, Gears, great. But those games are super kind of long in the tooth. You know, and they are even longer in the tooth because we haven't had anything to go beside it. Right. So what I'm saying is, the way that Nintendo and Sony can release, you know, more Uncharted and more God of War and more Gran Turismo is because they have all this stuff in between, right? Microsoft, every couple years, they were just releasing their same games over and over again, Halo, Gears, and Forza, and eventually it got old to people, and they're kind of onto it, and they don't, you know, they want something new, and they want something new AAA. So you can push the bleeding edge narrative, right? But that's the most Xbox-looking game I've ever seen in my life. Nobody's going to play that game 2 months after it's out. It's going to be like Crackdown 3 multiplayer. One and done. Talk about one and done. How about Crackdown 3? You know, just because the game has multiplayer doesn't mean it's going to be good. Speaking of multiplayer, Crackdown 3's is dead. You will not find a match on there. I have tried numerous times. There's nobody playing it. The closest I got to a match was in the lobby with 2 other people, and then the lobby closed because they couldn't find any more people. So, yeah, how am I supposed to trust that this cloud future, this cloud compute, like that's something that Microsoft promised so much. We got cloud compute, Crackdown 3, the power of the cloud, right? Well, guess what? How'd that work out for Crackdown 3? And we're supposed to trust that this is going to work out for us in the long run? I just don't believe it. You know, when you have companies like Nintendo and Sony going, we're keeping an eye on this streaming thing, but, you know, we're really excited about our console and our console fans, and they want these great games and experiences on their console, that makes you feel happy. If you're an Xbox fan, they're not even talking about the console anymore. Mikey Barr on Twitter says, Gears Tech Test coming out on PC and console. He doesn't even call it an Xbox, right? Now we're stuck playing in this tech test, and then we might not even be able to turn off the ability to play against PC people in unranked. So in ranked, you can turn off PC, but in unranked, it's inconclusive whether you can do that or not. Plus, you're allowed to use keyboard and mouse on Xbox One for Gears, and I'm not sure if it separates the players. So this is the world that we're going in as Xbox fans, folks. We went from Xbox Live being fair and balanced and everybody kind of being on the same playing field to playing against people on PC, not being able to opt out, playing against other people on Xbox that are using PC keyboard and mouses, right? Like it's just a big cluster F right now, and where Xbox is going is just absolutely kind of ridiculously bad. You know, and you're gonna see it now. Like Xbox One sales have slowed to a crawl. Like this is like a something that just came up. You know, it's absolutely you know, just the truth of the matter right now. I'm gonna answer some more questions. Hey, you guys, hit the like button, please. I would appreciate it. I don't get why the Game Pass is considered cool. A publisher can pull a game at any time. Then where are you? Well, Muttley, then you don't have the game. That's how it works. Like Netflix, all the Disney stuff that they have and Marvel stuff is going to be gone. Like that's how it works. But the first party stuff, I guess, will remain. I mean, cool. So the worst stuff stays. And Brian Brown says, "Screw you, crap. Going to find someone who supports Microsoft. Hey, there's plenty of them out there, bro. Good luck. Godspeed. I appreciate you." Rob Jones says, "Loving these videos lately. I appreciate that as well." I'll Drain Your Soul says, "Best watch it, crap. All this negative Xbox talk. All these Xbox diehards are going to be after you." Listen, I think a lot of the Xbox fans that have level heads realize that Microsoft needs to do something. And I'm sure I'm annoying as hell to some of them, right? And that's the point. You don't think that it's rattling cages? You don't think that they're aware of what's going on, that they haven't announced something in 4.5 years? Like, they obviously know. That's why they're so quiet. Ask yourself this. Where's Phil Spencer at on Twitter? Where's all the people that are usually on Twitter answering the questions and talking to the fans? You know why they're not out here talking to the fans? Because they know the fans are pissed off. Yes, there's going to be the certain number of fans that are going to always be okay with what Microsoft does. But I think for the most part, we all can realize that exclusives do matter, and we're not happy. You know, just in my opinion, anyway. If you guys are happy, I'm not going to say that you should be unhappy. I'm just saying, for me personally, in my opinion, I'm pretty unhappy with Microsoft's output of games or lack thereof. And it's really just goes to show you this news right here just goes to show you how Sony has the right stuff, the plan, and Microsoft just is out of touch with what gamers want. The fact that they thought they all wanted sad edition, that we want to play our games while on the toilet or whatever. You know, most of us just want this. Why? What's the point of them having a 4K or an 8K console if they think everybody just wants to play on a little tiny screen? Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It absolutely doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It's ridiculous. TLR9 says, "Love the live stream, dude. Keep it up. Also, great Xbox PlayStation Nation last night." Baked, hold on a second. BK Bedsty. He said they had Jez write such a nice article. I'm not going to knock Jez, but again, he's paid to write stuff like that. Not by Microsoft, I don't think, but by, by Windows, whatever. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but that would be like going into the Chevy dealership and expecting them to talk bad about Chevy, right? They're not going to talk bad about Chevy. They're going to talk good about Chevy because they work for Chevy. It was very much, in my opinion, just my opinion. I think it was a good write-up, but it was just more kind of reiterating a lot of the damage control that we've been seeing lately from a lot of the Xbox fans. Like, let's be real here. The Xbox console itself is the most pointless console. That's why it's going to get outsold and really badly next gen. Microsoft has no content that people want. And that's a real shame. I don't even think Gears is something that people want. I don't see any excitement for this game. There's no advertising for this game. There's no nothing for this game, right? Like, this is the game that is supposed to sell your console. This was a tentpole franchise. So what exactly, what exactly are you going to do? I'll Drain Your Soul says, "Crap, hey, crap. Can you see Microsoft doing well with Scarlet? Personally, I think Microsoft may be done. PS5 lineup is going to be far strong with just God of War 2, Spider-Man 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Scarlet is going to get fall behind by 10 to 15 million within a very short amount of time, in my opinion. Microsoft doesn't have the games. They held back possibly Fable announcement for next year and maybe one other new IP maybe Ninja Theory's new IP. I think they're holding that back. I don't think they're going to come out next year, but I think they're going to announce them, and they're going to hope that's going to be good enough. But I think Sony's just going to bring so many games. Sony's not going to be afraid to announce stuff out 3 years out, and that's going to get people excited. And everybody that 100 plus million people that own a PS4 aren't going to just give up their PS4s to switch to Xbox, right? Especially since, why the hell would you, right? I'm going to be real with you guys for a second here. Why the hell would anybody trust Xbox at this point? How many times have they switched directions in this generation alone, right? First, they came at us with DRM and always online and, share your games with 10 people and connect, and we can't disable it because it'll break the box. And then they took it to connect out of the box, and, then they went to games, removed the DRM. They were all about games, this, blah, that, blah, 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 right? And now they're on to something else totally, and then it's on to something else, right? Like, how could you trust what they're going to do? That's what I'm saying. That's the thing that that I would say, like, how in the world would anybody trust Microsoft? Rich says, hey, crap, have you seen Game Pass revenue going down? News just came out about an hour ago. What do you think about it? Well, how can Game Pass revenue go up? Everybody bought it for $1, right? Like, that's not going to make it go up. That's going to tie people to it for a couple years for sure. But yeah. Hey, Dark Carnage says, do another face reveal. Crap, I am in the middle of editing 5 videos where I'm splicing in myself with the gameplay and stuff like that. I'm trying to change it up, be a little bit different than everybody else in the community, and hopefully that kind of works out. I'm looking forward to that. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get some likes going. Microsoft switches directions like they switch UIs. Oh, damn, dude, that is absolutely a megaton. Dual purpose says Microsoft trying to go after 2 billion gamers with those games. Those showed it looks like they're going after the 2-bit gamers. Yeah, I don't think I don't think that they're going after anything. The real Witsky says, oh, he's replying into Reclaimer, who's a big Xbox fanboy. Keep supporting a company who's selling out and destroying our console's amazing legacy. Look, without a competition between Microsoft and Sony, what do we have? Right? We have really next to nothing. So don't blame me, right? Like, I'm not the one that's out there doing this. Just because I'm being honest about it and giving my opinion about it. Like I feel like Reclaimer, like, I know that you're probably a troll or whatever, but I honestly feel like you are probably angry at what I'm saying because it rings true. And I know that kind of sucks, right? Because I was such a staunch Xbox supporter, and you guys are seeing more and more people abandoning Xbox. And I wish I could help that. I really do. But I'm just glad I'm not the guy up here that has to get up here and explain and damage control this stuff, right? Like, Microsoft, how often can we say Microsoft is making the best moves, the right moves, when gaming is down 10% and hardware is down 48%? Microsoft says they don't care if you buy their hardware, and people aren't buying their hardware. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. So, and people wonder why Xbox is failing. That's a perfect example as to why Xbox is failing and continues to fail. It continues to fail. So, we've got we've got this situation where Microsoft is kind of in limbo. They're telling people, they're trying to get people to switch to this other way of gaming. I don't think it's working out for them. That Battletoads game, hey, the Massey says that Battletoads game looked embarrassingly bad. Well, look, listen, it could just be that Battletoads was never a great game. Let's not be, it was just a game that was a nostalgia game, right? They're probably never going to announce numbers for it. This isn't going to drive Game Pass subscription. This isn't going to drive Xbox subscriptions or people buying Xbox. It's not even an online multiplayer game. It's a couch co-op game, right? It shows that they didn't put much into it. So, yeah, Microsoft is the EA of game consoles, right? Like, they are. He does. It's like, if you look at what's going on. Well, I mean, listen, we're now into what, 2019, new consoles coming out next year. The Xbox One, if you think about it, what are they at? 35 million sales. I mean, people are kind of saying, hey, it seems like they're stuck at, this amount. 35 million. How many more could they actually be in terms of from the rest of this generation? Okay. So even if they do forward compatibility, right? Those people, I think, are all giving up on Xbox. They're all going to switch. They're all kind of like looking more forward to what Sony is doing. This is what Microsoft's biggest problem is, right? Even if you do say forward compatibility for the Xbox One X and it's going to play all the next gen stuff, nobody's buying Scarlet. This thing is probably going to be $500 to $600. What we saw from Halo Infinite does not look that impressive to me. You know, Microsoft doesn't have the pedigree that Nintendo and Sony has. You know, I just really feel like it's really just a sad situation for Microsoft, one that they're going to have a lot of hard times kind of getting out of, and hopefully that they can. I don't want them to go away, just completely to be upfront with you. They cannot go away. I want them to actually compete with Sony, right? The fact of the matter is Microsoft was so hung up with what Google was doing that they didn't realize that Google's doing this stupid thing that is going to fail miserably in a matter of a couple of short years. They should have been concerned with Sony because Sony's going to come out and whip them again next year. And it's going to be like 150 million consoles to 20 million. It's going to be bad. You're talking PS2 numbers here. Like nobody's ready to give up their console yet. You know, there's 300 million console gamers out there. They're not going to suddenly go, well, we decided we don't want to play on our big screen TVs with, 4K or 8K. We want to play on our iOS phone or our Android phone. And, that's what we're going to do. Like, give me a break. If anybody really wanted to get into gaming and they can afford a nice enough phone to do this streaming stuff, couldn't they afforded a $150 Xbox One S, or you can get an original launch Xbox for $100? Couldn't they have afforded that? Right? These things are super cheap. That's all I'm saying. Right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that Microsoft is trying to play up, oh, we're trying to reach these gamers and be for everybody everywhere or whatever. Like they're not going to do it. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So what Microsoft is doing isn't exactly working for everybody else. Y9 Power says compete traditionally. Yes, because if you look at what's going on, Zach, hold on. He says they want $2 billion but won't do a TV commercial. This is exactly right. This is their mentality, right? You want to get all these gamers, but you won't even do a TV commercial. You advertise, and I brought this up on Twitter the other day. I said, if you own a business and you only ever advertise with people who you've already done business with, how many new people can you possibly draw in? And the answer is nobody. So Microsoft only advertising their games to the people that already have an Xbox, that's not going to bring in any more people to your ecosystem. It's just not going to. So Microsoft has a rough road ahead of them. They're very piss poor at explaining things. Just look at the way they explain their DRM, their original ideas, even some of which might not have been terrible ideas, but at the same time, they weren't explained very well. Microsoft has a very bad way of explaining things. Whereas, if you guys go look at what, go look at how Nintendo explained the DS Lite, or no, not the DS Lite, but the Switch Lite. Okay, it wasn't all positive in there. Okay, they actually, they actually told the negative too, and that's the thing. You have to just put it all out there for people to digest, but they have to know. Okay, so what about this Switch Lite? Well, you can't dock it because that's going to be a question. Microsoft would have flubbed that. They wouldn't have let you know that you could dock it or not. It would have been 20 articles asking whether or not you could have docked it, because Microsoft does that. They don't care, right? They confuse people. Look at Phil. Look at how he confuses this xCloud stuff already, okay? And here's what I mean. xCloud. Yes, xCloud's going to be a subscription-based thing. You're going to have to pay for it, folks. But you're also, if you own an Xbox, that's going to be remote play. They don't call it remote play, and that's going to be free. But how will that work? Like, they don't explain anything. They never explain things right. They're very confusing to people. Sony, they're doing remote play with iOS now. It just came out on their two updates ago. They explained it fully, how it works, right? In a little press release. They're not doing big tour circuits and press conferences about it, about playing it on you while you poop and, while you're jogging and, while whatever, they're not doing that. And that, I think, has a place, because both Sony and Nintendo are doing something that Microsoft couldn't fathom, and that is they're actually paying attention to their console fans. You know, they're actually paying attention to their console fans and treating them like they matter. You know, treating people like they matter. That's the thing that I think people should probably realize and maybe recognize. Okay. You know, you've got to be able to treat your fans like they matter. As an Xbox fan, I don't feel like I matter one bit to Microsoft. They tell me that they don't want my money. They don't care if I buy their stuff. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, for me personally, that's just the way I feel about it. I know not everybody's going to feel that way, but for me personally, that's just how I feel. I'm going to answer some more questions. Hey, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I would love to get 200 likes before I end this. Hold on. Man, I see some really good comments. You guys are on the ball. Dribble says, even if Xbox just released some teaser trailer for the games they were working on, people would see and stay hyped for what's coming, and they couldn't even do that. Dribble, I'll tell you what. People ask me, what could Microsoft have done to avoid all this, what you're doing, right? Because, oh, maybe Crap's whining, or, you know, Crap's doing this or Crap's doing that. You know, all I wanted Microsoft to do? A teaser for Fable, one new AAA IP announcement that has a single player component. That's it. After this horrible generation that we've had, that's all I asked for. And we couldn't even get that. We couldn't get that. So when everybody's like, piss on you, Crapgamer, you flip-flopper. No, Microsoft's the flip-flopper. They don't care about us. They do whatever the hell they want. And they've got some kind of core group that protects Phil Spencer no matter what he says or does. That's the part. Captain Thug Nasty says, Crap, Microsoft's biggest problem isn't the PS5, it's the Xbox One X. So many people bought that console expecting a next generation experience, and now here comes another $500 Xbox 2 years later. Let me tell you this. Xbox is following in Sega's footsteps perfectly, right? Sega, they announced the Sega CD, the Sega 32X. They're like, we're going to support the Sega 32X for a long time. Literally a year later, they're like, nope, we dropped support of the 32X because here comes the Sega Saturn. Whoa, you didn't like the Sega Saturn? Good, because a couple years later, here comes the Dreamcast. We have the Sega Nomad too, and the Sega Game Gear. So they have all this hardware and nobody to buy it because people aren't trusting them. That's a problem. All Digital 84 says, I've always liked your content, and I've gained a lot more respect for you over the past 6 months for calling Microsoft out on the PSBS. I appreciate that. Look, people are going to hate me, and that's fine. People are going to think I'm a flip-flopper, despite the fact that I very eloquently explained Microsoft flip-flop, not me. I got an Xbox One based on the games, right? If Sony would have had better games at launch, I would have got a PS4 at launch. I bought an Xbox at launch because they had better games, and for the first few years, that was the case. Then we got nothing. They stopped game creation completely. It was total BS. That's why. What's up, Oh Snakes? Oh, I appreciate it. Hold on. King 405 King says, a rabid fanboy. I respect you more than anything in the community. You're always about the games, and I completely misread you. Thank you for your honesty. Also, congrats to the missus. Stay blessed. I appreciate it. Anonymous Info says, Crap, whose cloud is Sony using? Sony is going to be using Microsoft's, of course. So Microsoft is going to make money off of that, which is good for them. But at what point do Xbox fans go, money is great, but where are the games? Like, why is it when I have a discussion with an Xbox gamer or Xbox fan, all they want to talk about is how Microsoft has grown beyond console? Like, if they've grown beyond console, what are you going to do with them? You know, if you're a console gamer, right? Or if they make money, well, they're making less money now. What's the excuses now? You know, like, come on, let's be real here. Microsoft is probably partnering with Samsung and will preload Game Pass on Samsung smart fridges. I am not, I believe it. What Tech Alpha? Yeah, I'm going to be there, Xbot. I'm going to be playing the Gears 5 Tech Alpha. Let's see how badly they've hurt this game. The Raphael says, Crap, there is one thing for Xbox console fans, gold requirement, same service free on PC. Exactly. The gold service, that's the only reason why we get a console again. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. They make $2.5 billion off of Xbox Live Gold every year. So that's probably why they're still making it. Farscape says, crap, you're honestly taking what Mooch said too seriously about the flip-flop thing. No. How is it taking it too seriously? Was I the one that flip-flopped? One in games? Or was Microsoft the one that flip-flops, going from games to services and other crap and putting their games on everything? Right? Like, that's basically how I look at it. So I agree to disagree. Jason Jones says, crap, last gen I didn't need a PS3. This gen I couldn't get by with just an Xbox One. Had to get a Pro for the exclusives. That's what makes this gen a failure for Xbox. Pushed fans to the competitor. Microsoft not only pushed fans to the competitor, they congratulated the competitor for kicking their ass, right? What other company would go out there and go, hey, Sony, congratulations on that game of the year, God of War. Well, fantastic game. Congratulations, Sony, on launching Uncharted 4. Props to you guys. We come out with Crackdown 3 and State of Decay 2, but enjoy. Hey, congratulations on Horizon Zero Dawn. Really great new IP. Here's our great new IP. I don't even know, a Recore. Like, that's what we got instead of Horizon Zero Dawn. We got Recore. So, yeah. Xbox says, I can't wait to see how good the arcade deathmatch can be. I'm not interested in that because it's just gun game from Call of Duty. But, I mean, I hope that that's something that you enjoy. I pretty much just like TDM on Gears. So that's pretty much how I appreciate it. I can't wait for Gears 5 this weekend. I hope it's great. TLR9. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's good. God of War sealed the deal for this generation. Not only God of War, but just everything that Sony was able to accomplish, including this bit. Like, how do you get an exclusive, right? How do you get an exclusive to outsell other games that are on 5 platforms, right? And people want to say exclusives don't matter and that people don't care about big AAA games. There you go. A big AAA game sold probably 20 million PS4s and outsold a multi-plat. Like that's really egg on the face if you're one of the people that that really kind of look that way or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, to me anyway. So I that's the way I kind of look at it anyway. From my point of view, is you've got to realize. I don't see how Phil Spencer cannot realize that exclusive content pushes your console. You just have to look at the Xbox 360 plan. You know how Sony did so good this generation? They took the Xbox 360 mantra, the playbook, and flipped it around and wrote and scratched out the term Xbox 360 and put PS4. That's how they did so well. They are absolutely crushing it with doing exactly what Microsoft did last gen. And I feel like that's something that, can't be understated enough. Like, absolutely. Like, they have just taken what Microsoft did and amped it up to 12, and it's absolutely working for them. And Microsoft got so bullied out of the console space that they've completely given up on the console space, not realizing that they're 15, 20 years too early to give up on the console space, because particularly here in their biggest hometown, which is the US, people aren't ready to do streaming. Like, that's not going to help you grow your business. They're not going to be able to do it. So, people are like, they'll understand that the hard way. And sadly, it'll probably lead to, people not caring about Xbox as much in the future. Like, Xbox Scarlet isn't going to do well. I would pretty much bet almost anything on it. Like, Xbox Scarlet is probably going to come out and, it's not going to do well. Now, look at what did well for the Xbox 360, right? They came out with a bunch of exclusives. Even Call of Duty 2 was a console exclusive. And they bought stuff like Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey and Tales of Vesperia. And they bought Gears of War. And they came out with great Forza games. They were really good. Forza Motorsport 3 and 4 are probably the best Forza Motorsport games ever. Forza Horizon 1 was the best Forza Horizon game. They came out with the best Halo 3 and 4. Gears 1, 2, and 3, fantastic games. 99 Nights 1 and 2. Realistically, the exclusive games were on point. And Alan Wake, Mass Effect was an exclusive. Mass Effect 2 was an exclusive for a year. BioShock was an exclusive for a year. They had Call of Duty map packs exclusive for a month. You really felt like if you bought an Xbox 360, you were a part of something. And that was great. Like, I absolutely love that. I thought that they did such a fantastic job with that. So it's really kind of odd to see them kind of go the way that they've gone this generation, where it seems like they just don't care. And I hate that, as an Xbox, someone who has invested so much time and money in Xbox, to see them sort of fall by the wayside. Really kind of disappointing to me. Hold on. Johnny Warren says Flip Flopper. Just kidding. He has some good points, of course. Of course. Am I looking forward to Modern Warfare? Hell yeah, I am. Rich of Cucumber says, hey, Crap, do you think Spider-Man 2 PS5 will sell more than Spider-Man PS4? Yes. Here's the thing. Spider-Man was such a hit on the PS4. Imagine a PS5 exclusive Spider-Man 2. That's going to sell 20 million consoles for them. What's Microsoft going to sell? Bleeding Edge 2? Battletoads 2? Nobody cares. Looking around at the people that care about those games, nobody cares. Nobody cares. 2,300 people follow Bleeding Edge on Twitter, the official Bleeding Edge Twitter. Nobody cares about that game. It's going to be dead within 2 months. It'll be dead quicker than Crackdown 3's multiplayer. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let's see. I'm going to answer a few more. You said you wanted less videos, but I can tell you sit around all day. They're getting more frequent. No, they're not. Look at the amount of videos that I do. I've done, hold on, I can tell you how many I did. Let's see. Let me find Xbox Nation from July 12th, which is last week. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've done 11 videos since last Xbox Nation, which is a week ago, 8 days ago now. So that's basically a little bit more than one video a day. So you can say that, hey, I'm doing more videos or whatever, but the fact of the matter is I'm doing 40 videos less a month. And the content proves it, man. I'm not worried about exactly what you think, but I did make you kind of look foolish. So there is that. You know, I don't mind making people look foolish. Let's see. Crackdown 4, baby. Hey, I can really... Warren says, if Halo finds its previous quality, could that bring people back to Xbox? Why would you want to go back to Xbox to play that? So you can play it against people on PC with a mouse and keyboard? You know, like, to me, I don't really see it as being enough to push it. Halo, they ruined Halo, in my opinion, with the Master Chief Collection being so broken and taking 4 years to decide to fix it, and then Halo 5 having such a weak campaign. I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible, but we'll have to see. Crap, I bought PSVR because of you. I love it. Happy it's back with PS5 too. Not only that, King, but it's going to work on PS5, so it's going to be backwards compatible, but they're also working on a wireless one that's going to be $250 with better resolution, and I am very, very happy with that. So, you know, that's absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of the Xbox fans hate that I'm not damage controlling for Xbox anymore, but look, I can't get up here and just be like, hey, Xbox is the best box, because it's clearly not, right? They don't believe in exclusives. They don't believe in giving us content. Why the hell should I believe in them? To be honest with you, I'm just saying, like, it makes no sense to to be into anything that Microsoft is doing, since they're not obviously doing anything specifically for us as fans. And I feel like that's pretty sad, you know. More and more people are going to leave, guys. Like, you can be mad at me all you want, but I think a lot of you that are mad are just mad that I'm right. When you look around at Twitter or your friends and they're like, I'm going PlayStation 4, I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. If you can pick up a PS4 Slim, get Spider-Man, God of War, Detroit, some of these games, Uncharted 4, the Uncharted collection, you're going to see Ratchet and Clank, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone. You'll be like, holy crap. Right? Even a game like Days Gone, which only got a 72 Metacritic, far superior than anything new we got from Microsoft this gen. I can guarantee you, far more inventive, great graphics. That game looks better than anything on the Xbox One X that Microsoft has put out. Why haven't we been able to get more stuff out of the Xbox One X, out of Microsoft, that looks that good? Right? We get these cheesy little you know, cartoony games nonstop, and that's fine. I don't mind those all the time. I would love a new Banjo-Kazooie. It's not going to happen, but a Banjo-Kazooie game would only be great if we also got some more realistic games, like new IP, because I get it that Gears is, you know, more, well, not realistic, but at least it's more mature, I guess, than some of the other things that Microsoft has going. So yeah, that's the way I kind of look at things. Let's see. Do I think Sony should release 2 controllers for PS5 at launch? One normal and one with inverted thumbsticks for fans of Xbox. It would be smart to release a controller that would draw in some Xbox fans. Rich, he says, do you think Microsoft will make something like delivering a more powerful console than PS5 and being cheaper? It doesn't matter. Microsoft could come out with a console that's more powerful and cheaper because they have both those things right now, and nobody gives a damn because you don't have the content. Matty Beast says Crackdown 4, State of Decay 3, Sea of Thieves 2, Record 2, next gen going to be fire. Man, I can hardly wait to play that Record 2 and State of Decay 3, man. I wonder how many times can I spawn in a wall in that game? It's going to be amazing, guys. Let's see. Play Uncharted 2 before any other Uncharted game. Uncharted 2 is probably the best game last generation. I've been on record as saying that. Absolutely fantastic game. Nothing like it. You owe it to yourself to play it if you haven't. Last of Us is also a fantastic game. One of the best games that you can play. God of War, best game this generation in terms of first player. Might be the best single player game I've ever played. You really are missing out if you haven't played some of these games. Honestly, they're great. There's a reason why people are buying them. Trying to divert attention from, well, I'm not going to say that because that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Right, he says a friend was joking that Phil was Sony's double agent for putting Xbox exclusives on PC and Switch and even PS4 5 in the future. Fully expect, by the way, you guys, if you don't mind hitting the like button, we could get as actually, damn, pretty good crowd here, almost 500. If you could hit the like button, maybe we can get up over 200 likes before I end this show. Would be awesome. Phil Spencer, he thinks weird. I don't know what his deal is. It's really weird. Y9 Power says, we are pissed at Microsoft. We are not flip-floppers. Even championship teams fans criticize how they lose some games. Exactly. This is how I looked at it, right? And Phil didn't like my analogy because I emailed him one time, and I think before E3 2018, and he said, well, he doesn't like comparing it to sports teams because you shouldn't be cheering on one and not the other, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of politically correct nonsense. Look, if my team, the Baltimore Ravens, ever started pimping out the Steelers, I'd stop being fans. It's that simple, right? If they started cheering when the Steelers scored a touchdown against them, right? Like, at what point do you just stop being a fan of that? Like, Phil Spencer's actively out there cheering on the competition. You know, how can you be a fan of that? I can't be it. Neverland says, you need to give Horizon Zero Dawn another chance. It's amazing. My number 2 game this gen. Neverland, I actually liked the Frozen Wilds better than the actual game. That's why I have hope for the actual sequel that they're going to make, because I like that DLC better than the actual thing. TD Bank says, if Halo Infinite is amazing, people will play it long after they've beaten Death Stranding and Last of Us 2. That's what Microsoft is banking on, doubling down on the big 3. The problem is, just like with streaming, TD Bank, people have a negative perception of those franchises now, like Gears and Halo and Forza. Well, at least Motorsport. I think Horizon is universally liked, but Horizon 4 was the most games of a service out of all of the games, and Horizon 4 also has a disadvantage because it's the one that's least about the actual festival, which is why I didn't like that game as much. Halo 5 wasn't great. The campaign was really bad. They were slow. It didn't launch with Forge. It had a bunch of like transactions and stuff. People are wary of that stuff. Gears 4, right? The campaign was kind of so-so. The characters weren't nearly as good. The multiplayer was pretty solid, but it wasn't nearly as good a game as like Gears 3. And so people are wary. And people are wary now to get Gears 5. That's why probably they're hiding some of it and they aren't advertising. They're probably going to say, we spent so much money on this game, we're going to put it in Game Pass. You know, if we have 5 million Game Pass subscribers, those people will play it. You know, but Gears used to be a game that would sell Xbox consoles and win MPDs, and it's just not that game anymore. It's just, nothing they have is that. Rich says, hey, crap, Microsoft has Halo Infinite as Scarlet launch title. Do you think PS5 will have a launch title that can combat that? I think that they'll probably launch the PS5 with some games that are also cross-platform with PS4, maybe The Last of Us 2 as well, and maybe like Ghost of Tsushima. You know, I think they're going to launch with some pretty great games. Anonymous says, crap, you're forgetting that Microsoft just acquired some studios that did AAA with their funding. Some games can be changed in the AAA. You know that, right? Anonymous Info, give me some of these games that you think can be changed in the AAA, right? no matter what you do to a game like Bard's Tale or Wasteland, there's nothing that's going to fancy that up so that's going to be appealing to an Xbox gamer or make those must-have titles. There's no killer app there, my friend. So yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. There's like, no matter how much you fancy up We Happy Few, that's not a killer app. Nobody's buying an Xbox for that. You know, that it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Does the guy that even asked the question realize how delusional that was? Halo Infinite isn't on any level of what Sony has. Well, listen, Halo used to be a system seller as well, you know, but the fact that they aren't actually going out of their way to push their games on their platform because they don't care where you get it, I feel like that is a problem, you know. Halo Infinite, you can play that on PC, you'll play that on xCloud, you'll play that on Xbox One launch edition, right? If you bought an Xbox One in 2013 with the Kinect, you'll be able to play Halo Infinite on that. So what on earth would you upgrade for, right? Because what we saw so far was not very impressive. How's that Xbox controller adapter? I like it. I think it works well. I still use the PS4 controller a little bit more now as well, though. I like it. FF years, look for that, bro. Lone Star says, I hope Halo Infinite can push Halo back on top, but I just don't have a lot of faith in 343. Well, a lot of times you just have to look at who's running these companies, right? Like, I saw today who the narrative director is for the story at Coalition, and my heart sank a bit. When you look at who's in charge at 343, you know, I think the buck stops there, you know, in my opinion. Xbox is chasing the dream and leaving the console traditionalists behind because they got bullied. You know, I kind of stick by that. Do you think that Microsoft has put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to Game Pass? I think so. I think that, you know, Microsoft isn't known for great exclusives, unfortunately, and they picked a really bad generation to sort of to really have such bad games and bad press, right? They really picked a bad generation to kind of to sink and have these problems. At the end of the day, Sony just basically outdid everything that Microsoft could do, and that's really unfortunate. You know, now we know. Not only is here we are in July, right? And you theoretically have a year and a half before the next Xbox launches, but why would anybody buy the next Xbox? Because you have no games, right? And Xbox sales have literally gone to under 100,000 a month. Okay. What is Microsoft going to do to change their fortune, right? They're betting on something else. It's ridiculous. I don't know what they're going to do, but what they're doing right now, just really, really bad stuff. Just really can't really relate to understanding what they're doing. What's up, Enrique? Matty Beast. Now True says, crap, I got graphics mod for GTA San Andreas on my PC. It looks like a recent game. I know people that are going to PC. It's not my bag, but I can understand it. You know, look, Microsoft pulled a Sega, released a console, a very expensive console in 2017, and then announced one 2 years later that was coming out. If you don't feel screwed over by that and the fact that they haven't announced any new IP since they announced these 3 consoles in 2016, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, maybe you are a Microsoft person. Like, that isn't me though. Like, I'm very unhappy with no new consoles. You know, I can't believe that they've actually kind of let this happen. You know, and now we have proof. We have definitive proof. Anytime an Xbox fanboy says exclusives don't matter, you can point to this now, right? If exclusives didn't matter, how would Spider-Man do so well on one platform? This game probably sold 15 to 20 million PlayStations, right? Like, it's unbelievable. This is huge news. This basically shoves everything that Phil Spencer has said right back in his face. I would love to go into Phil Spencer's office and point this at him and go, look at this. Your plan sucks. People want content exclusively. If you do it, you'll get more people to buy your console. You'll be able to sell more subscriptions. You'll be able to sell more software. He doesn't get it. Why some hillbilly like me gets it and he doesn't, I have no idea. But he'll put on his gaming shirt with a cardigan around it and get up there and talk about playing anywhere you want, wherever you want, with whomever you want. And you'll have a certain group of people just clap and clap and clap and clap and clap. I broke that spell. That's not me anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm not that guy anymore, you know? Basically, yeah. Kevin says, Crap, do you reckon we'll see an Uncharted 5 next gen? And do you reckon Nathan Drake will return as the main character? We 100% will see an Uncharted game next gen. Sony San Diego Studio, you can Google that. They hired ex-Naughty Dog people to run it. It's going to be, they're working on Uncharted. They're going to continue that franchise. I don't know if Nathan Drake will come back, but, you know. Low End Average says, I just ordered myself a new Xbox Scuff controller. Have you used one? I've never used one, but I hear good stuff about Scuff. Muttley says, hey, Crap, you got any platinums? Only platinums I have are from I Am Mayo, right? And I think a couple of the Telltale games. Like, I don't really go for completionist on any game, even on Xbox. So, even after Multiplats galore in 4K, you traders are still whining. Viva the box. How about you give us something exclusive? That would be nice. Yeah. Steve says, I own all 3 consoles, and honestly, there isn't a reason to own an Xbox. Haven't turned mine on in over a year. I use mine to watch Netflix or Hulu. That's, not a secret. Why Not Power says, what about when you talked about Microsoft having more chat features, news than game news? I agree with you. Yes. If you look at it, they keep adding features and services and never anything gamer related. And conspicuously, where's Phil at now, right? You know why Phil isn't on Twitter now? Because people are pissed off. And, that's it. That's why. Lone Star says, is Halo Infinite the only launch exclusive for Scarlet? They will need at least 2 more, something new, hopefully. Here's the thing. Phil thinks that they had the best E3 ever at Microsoft this year, right? He literally thinks that. He thinks that they killed it. They had a great E3, the best one ever, and he doesn't want to hear otherwise. He unfollowed people that thought otherwise. Anybody that had any kind of questioning about, anything they were doing, he unfollowed them or muted them, whatever. And so basically that's how he feels about it. What can you do? Jay Slayer says, let's all cry about video games. Or you know what? This is a video game channel, and this is a video game talk show, basically, and we're talking about it. So we're not crying. I don't have any tears in my eyes, bro. Do you? Yeah. Basement Radio Arcade says Halo Infinite will be on Xbox One X2. Dude, not only that, it's going to be on the S and the launch Xbox One. Think about that for a second. How much do you think the Xbox One launch edition is going to hold back Halo Infinite? It's got to span multiple consoles and work on that, right? So, wow, that's absolutely incredible to think that could be the case, that it holds it back that much. I'm not one that I'm not like super techie or anything, but wow, it's really, really bad. It's kind of bad. You gotta kind of wonder what exactly what's going on there. It's not a great thing. So yeah, I'm gonna answer a couple more questions and then get the heck out of here. I got some stuff that I got to do today. Got to get ready for my I'm going to see the Rolling Stones tomorrow, man. I'm very, very excited. So regardless, Crap, I'm a Sony Nintendo gamer that bought an Xbox One back in the day for Scalebound, so you know how that worked. Also got info on why Ni no Kuni is not on Xbox. Want to discuss it? Probably because it probably wouldn't sell on there. Major Tom says, do you think that the Xbox brand is sterile, or do they have the sliver of a chance next gen? As long as Microsoft is not putting their console first, they have no chance. And if they refuse to announce anything new, they have no chance. That's just how it works. They don't have a chance, guys. It's so supposedly 343, thanks to outsourcing and stuff, has 450, 550 people working on Halo 5 over a 5-year period. Like, if that game isn't good, what's going to happen there? Like, you have to wonder what's going to happen. If Gears 5 somehow flops, what's going to happen there? You have to wonder. Like, I start to wonder. They're calling Halo Infinite a spiritual reboot. I mean, are they going to spiritually reboot Gears if this one doesn't do good? You have to wonder. I don't know. Microsoft waiting. I see that in the chat. Waiting for next E3. Sony is going to come back to E3 next year and just kill it. They're going to knock it out of the park. What did Microsoft wait so long for? Right? I don't understand it. I do not understand their thinking. Rich says, hey, Crap, do you think Xbox will win NPDs in next gen and launch window with Halo Infinite? No. Microsoft will never win an Xbox or an NPD. They just won't. And with Game Pass, even long-term people like myself who didn't upgrade for the buck, right? Like there's no reason for me to buy Gears 5. I can play even in the tech test. I didn't have to spend anything, a buck, you know? Um that's I'll get my buck's worth regardless of if the game's great or bad. That's the way I look at it. I didn't have any investment on there, so it kind of is what it is, you know? One more question. I'm really worried about Xbox console fans will have even a smaller pool of players to play with next generation. Does Microsoft not understand that, or do they care? Forced to play with PC mobile. Lone Star, this is my thing that I've complained about. We're going to be forced to play with it. Look at the tech test, guys. They're playing. You're playing against people that are allowed. Anybody can plug a mouse and keyboard into their Xbox One and play Gears of War against you. It's not going to separate them. So prepared for that. I'm just saying. And I don't even think you can turn off crossplay with PC on unranked. I think that you have to play with them on unranked. So that's not good. So that's not good. Let's see. Nurba Jackson says, we can see your retaliatory criticism get worse by the minute in real time. The more the community rebukes you, the more you attack Microsoft to the point where you backtrack on previous stances. I am not the one that backtracked on previous stances. I was all for Xbox when they had a games situation, right? Look back at what they were talking about. We're all about games. Then they started talking up Nintendo and Sony and platforms and play anywheres, and they started taking out the reasons that I was excited about the brand. And of course they don't have any games, so what good is a platform with no games? That's my point. Like, Microsoft screwed that up, not me. So don't sit there and blame me. Like, I do what I do, and that's it. Like, I'm sorry that you liked Crapgamer hyping up DX12. That was something I was legitimately excited about. I felt like Microsoft was getting the short end of the stick. They aren't getting the short end of the stick anymore, though, guy. They're getting exactly what they deserve. Whatever score Gears 5 gets, it deserves, whether it be good or bad. The score that Crackdown 3 got, it deserved. The score that State of Decay 2 got, it deserved. Right? Even Forza Horizon 4, that great score that they got, it deserved. There's not a bias there anymore. Like, people were upset with Xbox to start the generation. That's long over with. Microsoft is too politically correct for people to be angry at them anymore. So you guys got to stop with that stuff. Yeah, Xbox fans blame you because they can't take the truth that Xbox sucks. Here's the thing. Xbox One X is a great console, but there's no content. They're not, and they're just so focused on their services. It's bad. I understand why people are pissed off at me, I guess, but at the end of the day, it's not my fault. I'm just out there saying, hey, this is my opinion. I'm not saying, hey, go to PlayStation. I'm not saying that at all. If you enjoy what you got off the Xbox, that's fine. But it seems like people hear what I say and then get pissed off because I brought up the truth, and they don't like what I had to say, and then they get pissed off at me for bringing up the truth. Look, this is just my opinion on my opinion of a channel, right? If you don't like it, you don't got to listen to me. I'm not telling you what to do. Go, if you're enjoying Xbox, man, more power to you. That's fine. I'm not going to knock it. I'm just saying, if you really like Xbox, you maybe want them to reconsider some of their direction, because there might not be an Xbox console per se going forward. We need that competition. So, that's all I'm saying. You guys all have a great day. If you wouldn't mind, please hit the like button, share it out, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell. I will be back Rolling Stones tomorrow, so no Crossfire for me. But we'll be back this weekend. I'll see you guys later. Rack 'em up. Peace out.